in 2005, the trio released a single under the name Freestyle. And then they did change their name to Young Fathers in 2008, very wisely. Freestyle.
Oh no, you did it twice.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles. There you go. My name's John. His name, all week, is Andy.
Yep.
He came to the woman who sat there beside me. He had a strange look on his face. The big hands were calloused. He looked like a mountain. For a minute, I thought I was dead. But he started shaking. His big heart was breaking. He turned to the woman and said, "More at another time." But first, we have got a tune from one of our lovely viewers to listen to because it's Friday. Yes, it is. Steve Chandler, XV4, YV. Why so formal? Steve, he dropped a comment on episode Massive Attack, Safe from Harm. Awesome tune. And Steve has suggested a track by Young Fathers, which I kind of know, bits and pieces, and Andy doesn't. So the coin was flipped, the bottle was spun, the dags were drawn, and it came down to Andy to listen to this. This is a track Steve recommended, I Saw. And this one is a live version from our friends at KEXP. Must get the t-shirt. So you to go off and have a listen. We have discussed this, and you're not really familiar with Young Fathers.
No, I'm not. No. So I'm flying blind here, but it's on KEXP, so I'm looking forward to being able to be provided the visuals along with this new musical experience. So yeah, it'll be pretty cool, I'm sure. I've got confidence.
Okay, awesome. You toddle off, have a listen, come back, and report your findings.
Will do. Okay, so just getting into this, it starts off with this kind of cool blues rock kind of rollicking music, and we've got an interesting cast of characters here for sure. I really the interesting percussion work. Obviously, the guy that looks like South Park's Mr. Slave is there hitting these sort of like kettle drums of some variety, and then we have the other dude who's kind of posted up on like a smaller drum set, but looks to be like the conventional drums you would find in your bass drum kit, and he's kind of standing there playing that. Got woman providing these oohs in the background that sounds really nice. This guy, we're gonna call him the knob twister, was kind of doing his button pushing, and now I didn't hear anything as far. I see that he's clearly singing, but I didn't hear any of his vocals. Then we have this other guy who's got this really interesting charisma, talking about wanting your shield and your weapons and bulletproof vest and all this stuff. Lots of energy. I'm really digging the rhythms in this song. That kind of like, again, that chugging blues guitar line sounds good. I'm digging what I'm hearing so far. Let's see where it goes from here.
No questions in your arms, handful of coins and a boulder fist. Begin injustice, holier than thou. Sunset gremlin with a snidey smile. What a win! I wanna win. I saw what I saw.
Who's this?
I keep on walking the line again.
Okay.
I saw what I saw. I keep on walking the line again.
So, they're sort of, to this point, kind of handing over the baton from a vocal standpoint. And your man on the drums has a bit smoother of a singing voice, and it sounds more like traditional singing, but where he is kind of compensating by providing a better singing voice. He kind of lacks that charisma and growl and attitude that the initial singer had, your man there with the locks. So yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic between their sounds. I'm not married to one over the other. It's just interesting that they're different, but they're working together in the setting. And now I actually think I hear some vocalizing from the knob twister this time around in the form of those oohs that earlier were being performed by the one in the background. So this is just really interesting, just the vocal approach to all this and kind of this round robin passing the baton type thing. It's kind of cool and gives the band more of this cohesive, interactive feeling as opposed to just being disparate players on a stage or in a studio. And at this point, it's just like they're working together as a unit, which is pretty cool. That sounds good. Oh, she's singing too. Okay, now he's singing. That sounds nice. This is really cool. I didn't even realize until a moment ago, I think it was a couple shots ago, where I was able to see both the young ladies in the background. So we've got two of them providing, for the most part right now, these really soft, lovely oohs and ahs in the background. I really love the vocal approach to this track and how everyone's kind of working together, or working in some cases when they're providing harmonies as like a couple of them as a unit to just lift everything. Your man on the guitar I just saw there, I was wondering where occasionally I was hearing these resonant, sustained sounds, and it looks like he's doing that, providing that on the keys while also handling guitar duty. Yeah, this is really interesting stuff. The lyrics are lost on me. Some of them have been really biting and interesting, but I'm not really able to like add them up to get a cohesive message. So maybe I can catch that from John. But so far, I'm really digging this, especially, like I said, from a group vocal performance standpoint.
Brush your teeth.
Discover new music.
I know where to find you, KEXP. Thanks, though. Yeah, that was a really cool listen. Interesting band. I'd wonder what their sound is when they have all these different, like, you know, they've got 2 different percussionists, multiple singers, a guitarist who switches between keys and guitar. I'd be interested to hear what their overall sound is. Are they kind of like amoebic like this? They move from one thing to the other, and thus probably cast a wider net from as far as the different sounds that they can tap into and achieve when they have this kind of approach. Yeah, really, really interesting stuff. Loved the vocals in this and how they kind of like, you know, switched around and all worked together. I've said that ad nauseum at this point. Yeah, it was a really cool performance. KEXP killed it on the sound quality. The band performed really well. Loved the rhythms in this song. Though as aesthetically humorous as I found the guy working those floor kettle drums, just the rolling nature of what he was doing added so much. I love the splash at the end there on, I'm not sure what the name of that cymbal is that has all those holes in it. It has a splash effect similar to the cymbal that's, I think, called a China Boy, where it really adds a lot of that sound and richness to its splash effect. So yeah, this all sounded really cool. I'd love to learn more about what they were. I mean, by the end of it, it just sounded like my morning routine, like brush your teeth, wash your face, which I mean is a good reminder and like your daily hygiene ritual. But I wonder what the larger meaning of that reference was. But yeah, I'm sure John, having done his homework on this song, or perhaps being familiar with it, can shine a better light on the meaning. And I'm sure he can tell me a bit more about this very interesting, eclectic band that, doesn't seem to have a front person. It just seems to have like an army of people doing a lot, which is always really cool to see. Makes it, the fact that this is a video of them performing in a studio, that much more interesting rather than just the, you know, studio track. It gave me a better glimpse into all the different moving parts and the amount of people involved in sort of carrying the vocal baton throughout it. Yeah, really cool shit. Let's learn more about them by getting back to John.
Mr. Papadopoulos. He's back. So you've had to listen to I Saw by Young Fathers live on KEXP. What do you reckon?
Well, another great, performance on KEXP, both on the artist side and on their production staff side. It really was a lot to take in. It was a little almost claustrophobic in there because there were so many people in the band. I couldn't even see. I didn't realize there was 2 female singers until like halfway through the performance because of how crowded it was.
It's really tightly shot, isn't it? It's a bit crowded.
It is. But the video opens up with the sounds of like this rollicking bluesy rock number, kind of up tempo, and some digital sounds fluttering in the background, and then we get a glimpse of a man striking the kettle drums of some kind, and he's dressed up in, let's say, questionable attire akin to that of the character Mr. Slave from South Park. If anybody out there knows, then you know. We also got a look at what appears to be a man in control of the tuning dials and the knobs, kind of playing with all of those digital sounds that I had mentioned earlier. There's also, again, as I mentioned earlier, women vocalizing these ooh sounds in the background as the lead singer begins delivering the lines of the first verse. And I say lead singer, I use that term loosely. In real time, he was the lead singer, but by the time we got to the end of the song, he was just one of many. So yeah, he goes on about wanting your shield and weapons and that bulletproof vest. He also declares that he's not susceptible to your nonsense and that he is indeed a winner. He's got this attitude and charisma about his delivery and kind of this a little bit of snarl in his delivery, which made him added to that and underscored that charisma that I talked about. So he was really interesting. He wasn't doing a lot of singing, traditionally speaking, but I liked what he was doing with his voice and how he was presenting these words with this kind of biting attitude. The guy who I'll call Knob Twister, because let's face it, that's funny, and that's exactly what he was doing. He then turns to the mic and appears to mouth something into it, but I can't make out a damn thing he's saying. He just it doesn't even look like it looks like he's singing. It doesn't sound like he's producing any sound. We also get a shot of another percussionist. This one looks to be like playing a more conventional set of drums, or a smaller version of that, as he's standing up and sort of working the snare and rim work. And the singer jumps in and delivers the next stanza of lyrics with the same defiance that he used when he delivered the first stanza. And he's now he says he's not falling for your charms or crashing your arms. He also mentions something about coins and picking up rubbish, which kind of made me, just his delivery made me smile. Then your man singing definitely has like this charisma and attitude about him, and he's animated in his delivery. And he says something about a bad seed, though I don't think he's referring to those that accompany Nick Cave. He also goes on to say something about a rotten apple. And I think he refers to the object of his ire as a sunset gremlin, if I heard that right. And that made me laugh, because that is such a funny insult, if that's what it was meant to be. So yeah, he said something about a snidey wee smile as well. So these are like biting lyrics, but I have no idea what the hell they're talking about or who exactly they're aimed at. Much to my surprise, the next lyrical bit is performed by your man, who has been playing that sort of quasi-conventional drum set. His voice is more conventional than the other fella who is singing, and it's smoother and it's more sing-songy. So it's kind of an interesting juxtaposition comparing these two voices. Not to say that I like one more than the other, but they both definitely have their own distinct styles and sounds to them. Some of his lines are accented by these really lush oohs from the knob twister and the female backing vocalists, who really deserve some better camera time, if I'm being honest. I keep catching them in the background of the video, but never the foreground. Interestingly, the vocal roles switch again a bit at first, as the first featured singer and the knob twister take over the proper vocal delivery, and it appears the women and the percussionist accompany them with more of these ooh harmonization. So again, there's this baton passing, this sort of musical chairs of who will take on the singing role and who will take on the supporting harmonization role. And I liked that. It added all of this diversity to the dish that they were creating here. It was probably my favorite thing about the song. That, and these rolling percussions that are being provided by the the gentleman in the vest, who looks like he's ready for a fun night out.
The Gimp.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So yeah, he looks like one of the village people. There is this interesting. It's just interesting to me that the groove, while all of this is these changes are happening and there's machinations in the vocal performance, the groove itself isn't really changing much, if at all, throughout any of this song. Maybe a little bit here and there on the drums, or an added sustained note on the keys, as we'll talk about in a bit. But there's no big, like, here's this line of demarcation between these different parts of the song. It all kind of flowed the same-ish throughout. So I guess a lot of the variety that was added to the song does come in the form of the roles of the vocalists and how that constantly is changing around throughout it. The drummer and the knob twister trade off lines as they repeat this refrain. I saw what I saw. I keep on walking the line. Several times they repeated this. There was really some great harmonies on the voices in the track, and they can really they really do seem to trade off the spotlight quite seamlessly, which is impressive, and I think speaks to the cohesive nature of their dynamics, especially in this live setting where you're seeing it all happen in real time. There are some terrific, like, ahs happening here. Again, killer harmonies from the group. Your man drops the drumstick and frees the mic from the stand, and he really goes for it as he sings something about rattling your sticks and rattling your home, among other things that I don't quite make out. But it sounds really good. Also, finally, get a long enough shot at the guitarist that I notice, on top of playing the Stratocaster, he's also the one providing these sustained notes that I've been hearing throughout, I believe. So that was kind of cool to see him doing double duty. And now we are treated to this bit of the song where the vocalist reminds us to participate in good dental hygiene and skincare several times in a row, where we're reminded to brush our teeth and wash our face. This is in conjunction with other lyrical motif that's kind of happening beneath it. This "keep on walking the line," and they layered this, and it sounds again another the umpteenth example of how cool the vocal delivery is in this performance. This culminates in the drummer with the padded mallet striking that cymbal while the line "I keep on walking the line" is delivered one last time, and it comes to an end. Love the accent. It's almost like there's a symbol called a China boy. I don't remember what the ones with all the holes in it are. That's clearly the one that he struck, but it has like a different splash sound to it, almost a more abrasive splash sound than a lot of other cymbals. And I like that because it's an excellent way to kind of like accent or punctuate this song. This is a lot of fun, and there wasn't a lot happening in the way of musical evolution or changing patterns within the music. It was performed really well, and the vocalist kind of carried the water when it came to the switching of things around. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I must say I found the lyrics to be really interesting when I caught them, but I'm not sure how they all add up to make a larger point or to make some sort of statement. So I'd be interested to learn more about that. So tell me more about this group and their sound, and if you know it, the meaning of the song and what it's aimed at.
Okay, yeah, I will say this. I sort of know bits and pieces about Young Fathers, particularly their first album, and a bit of this album as well. They are decent. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I've got nothing against them. And some of their songs are really good. I picked this one because I thought it was interesting to see them perform it. I will say, in my opinion, this performance is better than the studio performance. I think it really helps to have organic music, instruments in there.
I can
It can,
especially having just watched this. I got so much more out of the live performance than I would have if it was just. I think I even said that in the reaction. So great thinking on that.
and it sounds better, honestly. Some of their stuff can sound a little bit like it's piecemeal together. The white guy who joined in the singing later, he's the main producer of the last album. Anyway, I'll get into the band and stuff. So Young Fathers are a Scottish progressive hip-hop group formed in Edinburgh in 2008. So there's three of them in the band, and the others you saw there were, session or whatever, or helping out. So you got Chaos Bankole. He was like what you would call the main vocals in this. So it's interesting that where they came from as well. So he was actually born in Edinburgh to Nigerian parents, and he spent several years living in really rough places, a place called Maryland, and Nigeria, before we moved back to Edinburgh in his teens. The other sort of singer who was also doing percussion, Aloysius Massakoy, he was born in Liberia, and he moved to Edinburgh at the age of 4, and they're at school together. And then the third guy, who looks like a plumber, is Graham G. Hastings, vocals and production. He was born in Edinburgh and grew up in sort of North Edinburgh housing scheme of dry law, which is that'll keep you on your toes. Anyway, so the three of them got together in Edinburgh in the early noughties. They started performing at nightclubs where they're all still in their teens. In 2005, the trio released a single under the name Freestyle. And then they did change their name to Young Fathers in 2008. Very wisely. Freestyle.
Oh no, you did it twice.
It's hilarious, isn't it? You just imagine.
Two wrongs don't make a right, John.
I've got the name. I've got it. Anyway, in 2012, they signed to the LA based label Anticon and released their introductory mixtapes, Tape 1 and Tape 2. Tape 2 won the Scottish Album of the Year award that year. They then signed to Big Dada and released their debut album Dead in 2014. This album went on to win the Mercury Prize in the UK. Dead entered the charts, the UK charts at number 35, and it topped the independent UK album charts. This album, I'll just tell you a little bit about it very briefly. It received a Metacritic score of 83. Drowned in Sound said, if you're looking for a thoroughly 21st century record that'll challenge your preconceptions and bombard the senses, then Dead is something that's definitely worth your while. And Scottish magazine The List described it as a record which redefines the boundaries of UK hip-hop and Scotland's artistic landscape in one fell swoop. Their third album, Cocoa Sugar, in 2018, reached number 28 in the UK, so it was the highest charting at that point, and it also won the Scottish Album of the Year. This track is the second single from their fourth album, Heavy Heavy, 2023. The album was pretty much like a breakthrough in terms of success. It peaked at number 7 in the UK charts. And guess what? It won Scottish Album of the Year award again. But it also earned the band 3 Brit Award nominations and was again shortlisted for the Mercury Prize. This album, Heavy Heavy, this is from, got a Metacritic score of 86. AllMusic said, Heavy Heavy pulls in the listener with emphatic lust for life that, whether brimming with optimism, stealing for a threat to survival, or reckoning with a perceived futility of existence, somehow never wavers. And NME said, Heavy Heavy is a passionate, soulful, and often mesmerizing work that will stick around long past the first listen. Succinct and underpinned by a catchy melodic structure, it continues Young Father's peerless run of singular albums and further cements them as one of the more unique acts to exist today. And Pitchfork says, Heavy Heavy sweeps its listener along, church-like, and conveys the feeling that resisting the urge will always feel worse than rising up and pushing the air from your lungs. And then, after a brief 10 tracks, it's all over, as if the procession has marched on out of earshot. But the invite is still there, extended. It's up to you whether you accept it or not. So you might as well know that out of the reviews, that Pitchfork will be the most tossy. But, you know, they like it. For this performance on KEXP, which was 27th of November 2023, so you had Aloysius Mascot vocals and your man Bacole on vocals and G. Hastings vocals and synth. Stephen Morrison was the other gimp on drums. Callum Easter, guitar and organ, and Amber Joy Greenwich Sabral, that's a hell of a name, on backing vocals, and Kimberly Mandindo also on backing vocals. So it's nice to get the main show to them, because they did do a stellar job, particularly the ladies' voices. So the lyrics: I want your shield, I want your weapon, give me that bulletproof vest, and don't forget I'm not susceptible to your nonsense. I'm a winner when people forget you, when people forget you. Not falling for your charms, no crash into your arms, a handful of coins and a balled up fist. Picking rubbish, cleaning rubbish, a bad seed, a rotten apple. Take out the rubbish. Buried in between justice, holier than thou, sunset gremlin, with a snidey wee smile. Wanna win, I wanna win. I saw what I saw, I keep walking the line again. I saw what I saw, I keep walking the line again. A horse on its back, a line that is broad, a hand in the way, a sound towards God. The back of the spoon is not what the world is. With scars on your breast, it's not for my heart. A shield for a window, a roof overhead. On the power of drugs, heavy as lead. They know what they want, but they say what they want. They bleed all they want. It's nobody's fault. I saw what I saw, I keep walking the line. I saw what I saw, I keep on walking the line. I keep walking the line, I keep on walking the line, I keep walking the line. Saw what I saw what I saw, keep walking the line, keep walking the line. And there's that bridgy bit. I rattle your sticks, I rattle your home, rattle your zone, I rattle your bones. Yeah. I rattle your sticks, I rattle your home, I rattle your zone. I love to hear you moan. And then the outro. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face. Run away. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face, run away. I keep walking the line. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face, run away. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face, run away. I keep walking the line. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face, run away. I keep walking the line. Brush your teeth, wash your face, brush your teeth, wash your face, run away. Yeah. So, Aloysius said this about the song. Make of this what you will. We've been talking about Brexit, colonialism, about forgetting the contributions of other countries and nations, so that was in the air. And when we attached ourselves to the feeling of the song, it had that call to arms feeling to it. It's like a march. Caius Bakali, it touches on Brexit, but also touches on how effective turning a blind eye can be, and the idea there's nothing you can really do. It's a call to arms, but there's also this massive question mark. I get super buzzed by leaving question marks so you can engage in some form of conversation afterwards. Interesting comments there from the guys. I am not really sure that that has any basis in the lyrics we just heard, but they are great lyrics, don't get me wrong. And it does leave a question mark, like, what the fuck was that about? There is some sort of element in the lyrics of like turning a blind eye, or or facing up to something that you've seen, walking the line or whatever. Yeah. So as a band, their lyrics are usually interesting and thought-provoking. I think some of their background tends to inform how they look at things as well. They're not overtly political, but they do get involved in certain things, which kind of, I guess, you would do. So yeah, they're an interesting band, this album that this is from is definitely sort of a breakthrough in terms of they've had the plaudits, and now they're getting the sales as well.
Yeah, well, good for them. I was surprised to hear how well received and popular they were. Not that I don't think they're worthy of it. It was just, it seemed a little less conventional than some of the other artists who have reached those lofty heights. When I listened to this, I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. So
yeah. So okay, I'll wrap things up. So thanks for listening, Sandy. Steve, thanks for suggesting this. It was give me a chance to re-listen to some Young Fathers again as well. So I really enjoyed it. It was a great performance as well on KEXP, which is always a ring of confidence. So yeah, folks out there, tell us what you think. If you like this, please do hit the like button and drop some comments. Tell us what you know about Young Fathers, what you think of this track, this album, etc., etc. We love hearing from you. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We really appreciate everybody who supports this channel. It all helps moving on up, as people would say. And if you're wondering how come we're doing his track, it's because Steve dropped a comment. So all you have to do is the same. We will then put it on the list, and future generations to come sometime discover this list, and they will then do the reactions as well. So we will get done. That being said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see all of you in the next episode of The Audiophiles.
See you later, guys.